What's up, guys? Go back to the video, and with Moon Knight releasing in just a couple of weeks, which is right around the corner on Disney Plus, we have been our first early reviews from my people in the industry, critics, and press who got to see the first 4 episodes of Moon Knight early, and now with the Moon Knight series, it's going to be 6 episodes. But though with the press and people who got to see it early, they were only showing 4 episodes, and with these early reviews that we got here, they are insane. It's so good, and from what we could expect from the series on Disney Plus, which is Moon Knight. So in this video, I'm going to be going over the early reviews for Moon Knight, telling you all and telling us what we can expect from the show based on these early reviews that we're getting from the press, critics, and people in the industry who got to see it early. So let's get into it. Okay, now this first one comes from Thomas Tori, and he says, I've watched the first 4 episodes of Moon Knight. It's unlike anything we've seen before from the MCU. It's a psychological thriller with a touch of Indiana Jones. It kept me on the edge of my seat the whole time, and Oscar Isaac delivers a mesmerizing performance. And with the reviews says, unlike anything that we've seen before in the MCU, that aspects we're getting introduced to like supernatural and brutal characters in the MCU, which is Mark Spector, aka Moon Knight, but it's not really Mark Spector. It's really though Stephen Grant, who's we're really going to be seeing in this series. With Moon Knight, it's going to be one of those like a supernatural and brutal characters. I think with the show, I think it's going to deliver exactly just that as we get closer and closer to Moon Knight. And now the next one is coming from Sab_Ashley, who is a journalist for Collider, and he says, Moon Knight is a brilliantly bonkers, dark, globe-trotting adventure. This is Marvel's trippy national treasure. Oscar Isaac is the best addition to the MCU since RDJ, and untwiddling torment and humor into a morally ambiguous cipher. Mark Spector is a whole new cyber hero. And with this review coming from this specific person, as they describe it as like an Indiana Jones. I know we've already seen it through the trailer footage with Moon Knight trying to kill a werewolf as well. It's definitely gonna feel more of an Indiana Jones vibe type of show as we can move closer and closer, to the series with the Stephen Grant sharing a personality with Mark Spector as well, and we're already gonna see so much with Moon Knight. And now the next one comes from Ad, streamer Mo, and he says, my Moon Knight reaction in part 1 of 10, and it says that the series feels completely different to anything the MCU has ever done before. I'll get more into it in the review, but in the 4 episodes I watched, I think only one single reference to the MCU at large. With this a review saying that the series feels completely different, unlike anything we've seen before in the MCU, that's because with the Moon Knight, it's going to be a completely new character that we're going to introduced into the MCU with these supernatural and dark and brutal characters as well. We're definitely going to be seeing that in the show. And now this next one comes from Theories by T, and he says, Moon Knight is an absolute game changer. I've watched the first 4 episodes with my jaw and constantly dropped. Oscar Isaac gives an amazing performance. It's a psychological thriller with brutal action and unpredictable mystery. You get hyped. By episode 4, your brain will be fried. With the words an absolute game changer of what we're gonna see in the MCU, with the Moon Knight, we're already gonna see so much action, so much blood there as well, compared to based on the other reviews or other things that we've seen from the show, including trailers and TV spots as well. And with game changer, that's gonna be so much, especially with what they hand into the future of the MCU with these characters, and within episode 4, and he says our brains will be fried, and with this, we're about to look up for that for episode 4. And now this next one comes from James of Tori, who's from ComicBookcom, and he says the first episode of Moon Knight is everything I want in the show. It's everything we love about what the MCU can do, but goes way beyond it and positions it to one of the most unique shows properties that we've seen. Isaac is great, and Kanju is fantastic. With this, with saying that the first episode of Moon Knight is awesome. Plus, with this saying that it's unlike anything that we've ever seen in the MCU before, as I mentioned in the previous early reviews as well. We're gonna get introduced to sort of a horror, a supernatural character such as Moon Knight. And now this next one comes from Eric Davis, who's the editor for Fandango, and he says the first episode of Mune is a blast. It's super weird and wild, and I'm already in love with Oscar Isaac's performance. I'm a big fan of dry, awkward British humor, and the mix of that with the psychological thriller elements really gave a unique feel from other MCU shows. With this being like super weird and wild, and with the word wild in it, we're already gonna see like all that in Mune as well. With the Mune being such like brutal, supernatural, and brutal characters that we're gonna see now in MCU with the Egyptian culture and Egypt stuff being adapted though in the show with the Oscar Isaac as Moon Knight. And now this next one comes from Brandon Davis BD, and he says, Moon Knight is really good. Episodes 1 and 4 are my favorites. Oscar Isaac is great as Steven and Mark. The costumes look fantastic. It's definitely Marvel's darkest and scariest. The mysteries can be really engaged, and it plays a lot like a movie. I can't wait to see 5 and 6. Instead, the costumes look fantastic, and when the words are darkest and scariest, that's already gonna happen in Moon Knight as well. And plus, with all the supernatural stuff and all the mature content that we're gonna be getting over on Disney Plus as well, and plus with all the Marvel and Netflix shows that are supernatural and are dark are all being moved on the Disney Plus as well. And now with the Moon Knight, we're already gonna get like supernatural things and Moon Knight as well. Plus with it being like dark and horror vibes as well, especially with Moon Knight being one of the most brutal, dark, and supernatural characters. And now this last one comes from Tyson Smith from Mama's Geeky, and she says, Moon Knight is banana pants crazy and heart-poundingly intense. Every second of the first 4 episodes, Oscar Isaac equals incredible, Ethan Hawke equals terrifying. Unlike any Marvel show, can't get enough. Epic soundtrack, score, visuals, and action. It's dark, a favorite Marvel show, and then she continues on by saying, Moon Knight is scary, suspenseful, and freaking amazing. It tackles mental illness in a brilliant yet a terrifying way, rivaling Joker. Oscar Isaac expresses like so many raw emotions, and he is absolutely phenomenal. Opposite himself, a Khonshu is creepy AF as if, and visually gorgeous. From that, we're gonna see so much dark and brutal characters in the MCU, and with that being so crazy and stuff like that, and it's also gonna be insane. And also within this review saying that Oscar Isaac is incredible, and Ethan Hawke is like scary as well. And we're already gonna see that in a Moon Knight with Oscar Isaac and Ethan Hawke's chemistry though in the show, with Ethan Hawke playing like a cold leader, playing like other hero who's unleashing Mark Spector in his inner darkness as well, and that's I think that's what they're gonna deliver though in the series. And now for this last one that comes from Jacob Fisher DF, who's the editor-in-chief for Discussing Film, and he says, watched the first 4 episodes of Moon Knight yesterday and absolutely loved what I've seen so far. Oscar Isaac delivers a near perfect performance. Ethan Hawke is brilliant and as expected, and May Calamari is a delightful surprise. And the exploration into Egyptian mythology is full and contains on saying of rich and intriguing characters. I've loved every second about Diab, Slater, and Benson, and more above this new quarter of the MCU. Episode 4 is my favorite, leaving on an exciting cliffhanger and an excellent sign that this series could be the best content from Disney Plus. And also, what is being reviewed saying that it's going to be good, and saying that with episode 4, it's going to leave us on a major cliffhanger. That's what we're going to look out for episode 4. And plus, with them saying that with probably episode 4 is going to probably end on like an insane cliffhanger that we've never seen before in the MCU so far. I think that this is going to be like the best Disney Plus show so far. So we definitely have to look out for episode 4. As people said, it's supposed to be the best banger or the best episode of Moon Knight. And yeah, within all these early reviews that are coming from Moon Knight, I think this is going to be like the best series yet, and that's coming to Disney Plus, as we're right around on a quarter, about like a couple weeks away from the next Marvel special or the first MCU show in 2022, which is Moon Knight with Mark Spector, aka Moon Knight played by Oscar Isaac, and with Ethan Hawke as other hero as well. And based on these early reviews, I think we're definitely in for like a wild ride with the supernatural and into the character who is Moon Knight 2, and I can't wait to see more in Moon Knight once we get the show in a couple weeks. And yes, and plus I am going to be covering the show as well from start to finish, all 6 episodes of Moon Knight as well. So that's me for this video. Let me thoughts in the comments down below, and what you thought of these early reviews and reactions from Monet of people who got to see it early, and how excited are you, and are you looking forward to Monet? Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe and turn the notification bell for future videos, and you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter for live updates. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.